joking.
I knew.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to today's Restaurant News Networking Group. Helen, welcome back for the second time. John Bunn is our new member. Thank you, John. And we have a guest today who has an idea, and I think he just would like to discuss it with us and get our opinion of it. John Tisol, he's a very well-known public speaker, trainer in customer service, etc. And, very happy to have him here today. So, John, why don't you tell us about your new project, perhaps?
Okay, thank you, Howard. I assume many of you have been reading my articles that are published in the issues of today's restaurant news on customer service, hopefully. Raise your hand high if you've read them. Oh my God, I don't see a lot of hands going up. That's a bad sign. Howard, they're not reading your newspaper. That's bad. I speak and write on customer service. I help companies improve their customer experience. My concept is very simple, that when you deliver an awesome customer experience, people come back and they spend a lot more money with you and they bring their friends. When you provide crummy service, people don't come back, regardless of how good the food is. Now, the owner of most restaurants, if he had a chance to spend $1 million on renovation, his heart would get excited, okay? But if he had a thought of spending a little bit of money training and developing a staff to deliver a better customer service, he might have a heart attack and die on the spot. I have a couple programs that I thought were pretty relevant to the restaurant industry that are both available online and then for larger organizations could be purchased where they could facilitate it on site. And let me describe the two programs. And what I'm doing is going in with laser surgery. I wrote the world's first customer service training program. I'm everywhere in the world. And my programs are in many different languages. All my programs, by the way, are also in Spanish, which is important in Florida for all of you with your clients. But I have a program called Remember Me. And it works on a very simple concept that if an employee can remember the customer's name and use the customer's name, the business would soar and people would come back. So within every restaurant, there's probably 20 other restaurants within a mile. And what's the difference between all those different restaurants? What would happen if there was one restaurant where Andy, when somebody came in, or Chris or Helen, somebody said, "Hi, Helen, how are you? Jeremy, I haven't seen you for 2 weeks. Welcome back." Nobody uses a customer's name. Nobody gives a damn, ever, okay? You can have a reservation and they're never going to use your name. You could pay by credit card. They're never going to use your name. You could have a thing like Outback Steak where they have a loyalty program. They will never use your name, okay? So, all my research shows that when you can dramatically improve the customer experience, you can improve sales. So I have a program called Remember Me that teaches employees the skill and the art of how to use and why you got to use the customer's name. I believe that every restaurant could improve its sales by 10% if it really mastered this skill without any real costs. And every employee, every wait staff could increase his or her income by 25%. I mean, the tip income would skyrocket. So that was one suggestion I had for Howard of a program that would be available for employees in the restaurant industry, for owners in the restaurant industry to train their staff. All of my material is designed so Christopher, a guy, could buy it and implement it on site and then train their entire staff. And then I have another program. Howard says, "John, you don't understand. One of the problems we have in the restaurant business is we can't keep employees." Well, one of the reasons people leave is because they aren't loved, they're not appreciated, they're not valued. And all the managers and supervisors tend to never be trained on how to motivate and manage people, how to keep them turned on. So I have another program called Coaching for Success, which is for everybody in a management leadership role, teaching them how to use love and recognition to motivate and inspire employees. The major reason people leave is not because of money. That's what they tell you. The reason they leave is because nobody gave a damn about it. And a lot of restaurants and a lot of companies, they just look at their employees as interchangeable parts. And we're going to have a lot of turnover, so who gives a damn? But people are driven by love, John. They need recognition. Nobody feels, typically when they go to the work, they don't say, fantastic, this is exciting, I get to go to work today. It's damn. And at the end of the shift, they say, oh my God, it's over. Okay. But little recognition. So I have another program, as I said, called Coaching for Success, which teaches managers on how to manage and motivate people using recognition, how to catch them doing the right stuff. It's beautiful material. And then 25% is on firing employees. Because Bob, what happens, and Jeffrey, what happens is some companies keep dead people on the payroll. And no matter what you do, they're going to kill your customers, but you keep them. And so it's like having cancer in your body and you're saying, I'm just going to let the cancer stay. And pretty soon you're going to be dead. So 25% of Coaching for Success is on firing people. 75% is on recognition. So those are two programs. I have a lot of programs, but two programs I thought that would be very relevant to your industry. We operate with channel partners. I suggested to Howard that Today's Restaurant News could promote this. You know, he's got all my articles and most of the issues on customer service, but the real reach is to get to millions of people, to teach them what I call the skill and the art of customer service. And I can count on one hand the number of times a restaurant has ever called me by name. That's pretty bad. And I know that that people just don't feel wanted, loved, valued, and appreciated, so they leave. And so then they're trying to figure out how to get new people, and they're going to woo them, and they're going to tell them how much they love them, and then after they're there, then they forget about it. They're interchangeable parts. Okay, so two programs that are available to the industry, to you guys, so that's what Howard wanted me to present. How'd I do, Howard?
Good. Yeah,
You always do good.
couple
We
more
have your
times.
books and they're terrific.
Couple of more times,
Gary-
you'll get it down.
Carrie, you're married to Howard, right?
Yes.
I never knew that.
Oh, you didn't?
No, because you use a different last name on all your emails.
Well, that's my maiden name for
I
the
know.
business.
So now I find out the secret sauce of Today's Restaurant News.
That information is limited to the beginning of the meeting.
Yes, I do a lot of the work, but Howard does as well.
Okay, great. So does this interest some of you? Where do you think this fits in?
I tell you what, John, I think it fits in any industry.
That's true.
We were talking, I'm sorry, go ahead, Helen.
I worked in a local restaurant for a couple of years. As I worked in the back of house, front of house. I did everything but pay the bills. And I mean, it's typical you go over to somebody when you take their order, say, hello, I'm so-and-so, and, you know, would you like something to drink while you look over the menu? But you rarely get a chance to say, and what's your name? Well, people don't introduce themselves. I mean, it's just not the way things are usually done.
See,
And that's
you know,
the problem.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
I would,
problem.
the regulars would come in and I'd know, oh, he's going to order eggplant again, or this one is going to order the salmon or the pizza or whatever. But I really, unless they were locals that I knew personally, I didn't get to know their name.
You know, when I talked to John about this, I brought up an issue, but now that you just said that, Helen, for the wait staff to know the people by name, they would have to be really be cognizant of signing on a credit card so that they can get to know their name that way. Or the restaurant, every restaurant should be collecting data on their customers. And there's Chris going crazy. He's the data man. I can tell you that about 9, 10 years ago, me and a bunch of friends used to go to a restaurant in Delray Beach every Wednesday night. And we got friendly with the owner and we sat in the same booth every Wednesday night. And we got so friendly with him that during the summer, on a Monday night, we knew he was going to be dead. So we came up with this plan where we put a loose leaf notebook at the front desk. And as people came in and they had to wait for a table, if they did wait for a table, they could fill out what high school they went to on a page for their high school, their phone number, email address, information for us to get in touch with them. When the pages started filling up, we selected a page, let's say for my high school, Columbus High School, and we would email that list and tell them that there was going to be a high school reunion on Monday night at 6 o'clock. And I have to tell you that at 6 o'clock on a Monday night in the middle of July in Florida, it looked like a bus had unloaded people. They came in droves. And that was the great way to really start matching names with people. John, you steal us, I'm gonna sue you. But you need a venue, you need an opportunity to get to know their name. How do you suggest they do that, John?
Well, first of all, let's say that somebody walks into the restaurant and it's 7 o'clock and you say, "Good evening, sir. My name is John. What is yours?" "Oh, it's Howard Apple." Appel, "Howard, have you been here before?" "This is your first time." "Great, Howard. Let me take you over to the table. I got Helen. She's going to be your waitress. Helen, this is Howard Appel, who's going to take care of you and make sure, this is his first time here, Helen. So make sure you take really good care of Howard." And Helen says, "Howard, it is so great to have you here for the first time." It's a skill. It's not complicated. It doesn't cost any money.
Right.
Nobody does it.
Right.
So now think about a restaurant, 20 competitors within 1 mile. What would happen if one restaurant said, "You know what? I'm going to get every employee to use and remember the customer's name constantly." The employees would dramatically improve their income. 25%, I predict a minimum of 25% increase in income. Fast. It doesn't have to wait a week or a month, instantly. Okay. In the business, I mean, think about it. You're going to go for dinner or lunch, and there's one restaurant that always remembers who you are and they use your name. And you bring your guests in there, Howard.
Right.
And they say, "Howard, who are your guests?"
Right.
"Oh, it's John, Randy, Jeremy, and Chris." "Hey, Randy and Jeremy and Chris, it's great to have you here." And John, well, your sales would skyrocket. You're so goddamn worried about the quality of the food and the amenities in the restaurant, but nobody understands the fundamentals. Okay. And what I'm looking at is laser surgery. Okay. So I don't need to throw away the whole body. I just need to do a different nose job or an eyes, you know. And I just think it's, I told Howard, I sent him an email I sent to the president of Outback Steak. It's one of our favorite restaurants that my wife and I like to go to. And I've been there about 35, 40 times. And they have a loyalty program, so they know who I am. And when I check in, you know, I always make a reservation so they know it's John. They've never, ever, I've been there for years. They've never used my name in my whole life. No
Oh, my.
employee has ever used my name. And I sent a letter to the CEO saying this, I think I could increase your sales 5%. This is Outback Steak. We're talking, you know, maybe $100 million in additional revenue. He wouldn't return my calls and wouldn't respond to my letters. He didn't give a damn. It's nothing I can do about it. You know, I can only try. But I've never figured out why companies don't use such a simple skill. So I'm the only company in this world that's got a program in Spanish and English on remembering the customer's name. So Bob, if you had an company and you had 5 employees that are Hispanic, they may prefer to read their materials in Spanish.
Mhm.
And if you had 14 employees that prefer English, then we got that. Most companies don't understand. They're not willing to spend money training their staff, but they're willing to spend money on advertising and they're willing to spend money on capital renovation. I think the fastest way for increased cash and for keeping employees is to teach people the skills of remembering a customer's name. That's my idea.
John, further on that, there's a restaurant in the Cove in Deerfield Beach called Sylvain's Cafe, and they know every person who walks in the door. They're doing exactly what you said. And if they don't know you, say, hey, hon, you're new here. What's your name? And they get to know you. They greet you as you come in the door. And furthering what you're saying, you want to tip them better because you get to know them. They get to know you. They treat you better because a lot of times you go into these chain restaurants, like you said, Outback, and there's no personalization and there's no loyalty because you're just a number to them and you don't get to know them. And a lot of times servers, as furthering, you know, from the employer standpoint, get treated more poorly in those environments because people are like, I'll never see this person again. Why do I care? And so it's building that loyalty and awareness to your customers and making them feel a part of your family. And you treat family, well, you should anyway, family better than others. So I think it's a great program.
Thank you. By the way, one other thing on reducing employee turnover, if an employee, a wait staff person gets more recognition, I mean, when not all customers are nice, but when you provide a better level of service and you use the person's name, not only do you tip better, but the employee gets treated better. Yeah. Which, and one of the reasons people leave, there's 3 reasons people leave. One is because their manager's an ass. The second reason is I don't like my fellow employees. There's friction, probably not in your restaurants, but there's friction. And then the third problem is that I don't like my customers. And nobody's ever been trained on how to handle customers. So James, if you could deliver a better customer experience, people fall in love with you. And Sean, it's magic what happens. It's easy.
I can give you a success story on just what you're saying. I just remembered it. When I lived in New York, I lived up in Rockland County. There was a pizzeria that opened up. It was primarily takeout, but they had a little bit of seating. He happened to be one of my customers, and I provided the seating. Every customer that walked into that pizzeria, Rocco knew their name. If you walked in, hey, Howard, what's going on? How's the family? You know, oh, you're picking up 2 pizzas tonight. Okay. If the pizza wasn't ready when you walked in the door, come on, have a drink, have a Coke or whatever. You know, he just ingratiate himself with you so that you weren't going anywhere else. And consequently, that restaurant grew from a 1 bay, I'll call it, or half a bay, to a full service restaurant seating probably 100 people. Just because, and he knew everybody's name. And his children who took over the business learned that from him, and they did the same thing. And as a matter of fact, his brother owns a restaurant in Boca and he does the same thing.
So have any of you ever been to Fleming's in
Yep.
Florida? I mean, Fleming's, they use your name. And Outback, the company that owns Outback owns Fleming's, but the two must not communicate. Okay. But I have a good friend that lives in Reddington Shores, and every time I go down, he takes us to Outback in Tampa, or not to Outback, but to Fleming's. And he just had some of our guests, some of my friends to Fleming's 2 days ago. But they're really, I mean, the level of service of Fleming's is a 10. Well, why not have every employee do that? It doesn't take any more time to say, Jeremy, it is so great to see you back. Randy, I haven't seen you for 2 weeks now. Do you want the usual? But instead of just saying, do you want the usual? What would happen if I said, Randy? Not complicated.
I'm sorry that Debbie Kay is not here today. She's the one I wanted to, really wanted to hear you and have the conversation with you. But I'll get her to watch the video. Well, any other comments for John, or go ahead, Jeremy?
John, what you say obviously makes sense. I mean, common sense. You treat employees, your customers, with respect. Hopefully it gets reciprocated and everybody is better off. I mean, that's fairly obvious. And it seems that the smaller restaurants, the mom and pop, there is more of that personalization, people knowing their clients by first name basis. The head chef comes out and greets their customers. I mean, yeah, that's more so than the chains or the larger restaurants. There was a sushi place in Upper East 82nd Manhattan. One of my favorite places, Yuka. And this is pre-COVID, so I don't know how it is now. I'm stuck here in Florida, like many of you. But
you should be lucky you're in Florida. My God, you don't want to be in New York.
Politically, absolutely. You know, I do miss the seasons and everything. But this place, Yuka, as soon as you walk in the door, they greet you not by first name. They don't know you, but if you're first, you know, but they greet you and they shout something in Japanese. I still don't know what it means, but it just gives you a warm and fuzzy. And it's also a fantastic restaurant. So on top of that, but what you say does resonate.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, maybe it's better you don't know what they mean. Especially towards closing time.
No, it's all good. I mean,
no, I'm kidding.
I know.
All right. Thank you, John. I'm sure that maybe after the meeting, some of the people in the group might contact you.
I'd love to work with you. We operate with channel partners. If anybody wants to be involved in representing us in your industry, feel free to reach out to me. If anybody wants to use our programs, reach out to me. Howard, you got to think about, you know, how do we get all these restaurants in the United States,
Right.
which is your market,
Right.
1 million of them, to where we offer these programs to them, and wait staff could buy it on their own. I think a wait person, we could, you know, what I said to Howard, we could offer a discounted pricing to today's restaurant readers. And then, you know, today's restaurant readers or today's restaurant news, Terry, you and Howard could make a little piece of the action. You probably
we can definitely help you with that for sure. I will speak to you afterwards on that.
Okay, so that's where I see some opportunities, but you know, all of us eat out, all of us goes to restaurants. Sometimes the restaurant service is really, really good. Sometimes it's not so good. But
right.
Again, I could count on one hand all the times I've ever been to a restaurant, they use my name. And I'm 74 years old.
I agree with you. All right. Well, thank you for coming, and I hope it'll turn into something for you.
Okay, good.
And I want to reintroduce Helen. Helen is what I call, I know she's going to object to the term, but falls into the category of restaurant rather than supplier. She is a non-supplier member. So Helen, tell us what you are doing, what you're planning, because a lot of
Okay.
people didn't hear it who weren't here last week.
Okay, hi. My name is Helen Gottesman. My husband Robert and I are starting DeliciousSpoonfuls.org, which is an ice cream, coffee, and dessert bar focused on employing people with special needs, and we are a nonprofit. We are in the process right now of getting our dip card. There have been countless delays in this, and we started a few events on the small side, having our son who has Down syndrome and a fellow with autism helping man the ice cream and selling the ice cream along with my husband and I. And our original plan was to have a full service restaurant and baking classes and everything, but finances just kept downsizing us. So we will be, God willing, opening within the next few weeks on a small scale, and we may be doing a fixed site in either Hollywood or North Miami Beach. And we're also looking to do small scale parties for offices, for birthday parties, whatever, with traveling dipping cabinet. So we're looking right now to set up a POS system, and possibly if somebody has a better deal than the larger companies for a dipping cart, I'd love to talk to you.
Okay.
Anything else I should say, Howard, or?
No, that's great.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
So I think we're going to go around the room and let everybody introduce themselves to you and to John. Let's try to keep it to a elevated speech at about a minute so that we can get out on time. Peter, are you able to speak? Okay, we'll come back to him. Let's go to John Bunn. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, John. Very good. Something we've used for a long time with our customers. We're a little different. We're not in the restaurant industry. We're a manufacturer of the bun tying machines that ties up all the printed materials, newspapers, magazines, the bakery boxes. I've kind of associated with our distributor group and customers, and we remember the names. I kind of a little different because I remember the equipment and everything, the problems they have. So we do the exact same thing, just in a different area of business, but you're 100% correct. Taking care of that customer, even when you pick up the phone, you don't have to use their name, but if you ask them what happened last time, did you get it fixed? Did you have this? If you connect with them, which is really essentially what you're trying to do, it's a great thing. It really is. And 100% with you. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Okay. John, Helen, don't worry about writing down names and contact names, etc. I'll send it a spreadsheet out at the end of the meeting with all the names and contact
I
information.
appreciate that.
Thanks,
Howard, this is Peter Robinson.
Oh, go Peter.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm driving and the phone was on mute. I'm a business broker in Boca Raton. I work throughout the state of Florida. I sell mainly restaurants as well as other types of businesses. I will do a free business evaluation. Anyone is welcome to send me any information, any kind of financial information. I'll be glad to give any party a free evaluation of what I believe the business is worth and how best to sell it. I also work on commercial property. Anyone is welcome to call me 561 445-8198. I have no idea why I'm giving out my phone number. Anyway, I'm all done.
Okay, thank you. You sound a lot better. Randy, good morning.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
about that.
good morning, everybody. John, nicely done. That was refreshing. Randy here with Heartland Payroll. I'm going to touch on what John was saying, since payroll is employee driven. Without employees, the business doesn't prosper. What we're seeing right now is a lot of the smaller to mid-sized restaurants really using our employer portal for employee recognition. We capture birth dates, anniversary dates. From a retention level, the smaller mid-sized employers now are recognizing the employees through the portal. It's retaining employees. So that's key. Human capital management is key. I'm glad you touched on it, and that's really how we're going to help the hospitality industry. A lot of responsibility being the exclusively endorsed company for the NRA and the FRLA. So I'm glad you touched on that, and the employers are capturing it, and they're retaining the employees. So that was great to hear.
Okay, thank you. Darren, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Darren Gall, Tracy.net. We're a communications consulting and solution provider. Tying in on what John talked about, we can take a phone system and make it intuitive to where it can integrate with the CRM or contact management system to display who's calling, so you know how to answer the call. You can also keep notes in there so you know what city are they calling from, what are some of their favorite sports teams, et cetera, to help that conversation be a more personal touch. So phones are more than phones these days. It's a communication platform. We integrate in with social media. We integrate in with your text, your SMS. That's becoming much more important in restaurants, et cetera. So we can help you tie it all together and guide you through the maze of carrier haze, as we like to say it, and find the solution that's best for you and your customers. We do a free consultation. We search for the aches and pains they're having in communications and find the right solution within their budget. Darren Gall, Tracy.net.
Thank you. Jeremy, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks, Howard. Great job, John. Jeremy Ben Israel with Centropy Business Solutions. I help business owners and decision makers save money and time. I help them cut their expenses, reduce their costs on shipping, accounts payables, different expense categories. I also help them hire and retain their staff. Very important nowadays with this great resignation. I help employees manage their cash flows with instant pay. This is for all industries, but I am focusing on restaurants and hospitality, hotels, things like that, where that sector is really hurting in this inflation-led economy. So Jeremy Ben Israel with the Centropy Business Solutions, and glad to be here. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Andy, good morning.
By the way,
Morning.
this is Peter. May I just say something quickly, real quick?
Go ahead.
I would like to, with everybody's permission, I'd like to put a link on my business broker website of everybody who's in the club. If there's somebody who doesn't want me to put a link on, please let me know, send me an email, but I thought maybe that would be helpful. So if I'd like to be able to do that. Anyway, thank you. Didn't mean to interrupt everybody.
Okay, Andy.
Peter, if you want, you can just have your homepage redirect directly to our website if you find that helpful. But
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna put a link on for everybody that's in the club. I have anyway, I just wanted to get permission.
I can send you that list with everybody's information.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
John and Helen, great to meet you. And if you're ever in the Raleigh area, more than happy to get you guys a beer. So Andy Baker, founder and CEO of Easy Brew. Essentially what we do is we enable venues the ability to produce their own beer on site, but with no previous experience required. And we do that in two distinct ways. One is with our own designed beer brewing system where customers mix ingredients, ferment the beer, chill, carbonate, and serve. And then we also curate recipes and put all the ingredients together to make the process super simple. One of the two value propositions that we add is our customers are making beer for as little as 36 cents per pint instead of buying it from the distributor. But Andy Baker with Easy Brew. Thanks, Howard.
Okay, thank you. Chris Rodriguez.
Good morning. John Mulholland's also on the call. John and I are part of a group called Strategic Supply Chain Partners. We function as an outsourced purchasing department for our clients. Typical process is to either renegotiate or RFP their broadline distributor. That's the first level of savings we're able to deliver. Second level of savings we're often able to deliver is going manufacturer direct and negotiating better deviated pricing on behalf of our clients. Part of what we're able to do is we're able to see the landscape of all of our clients, see what deals are available and out there that other clients perhaps aren't getting, and either plug them in or negotiate on their behalf with the U.S. Foods or a Cisco or the like to get them similar pricing. So we typically, on the low end, get 7-8%. On the high end, we're seeing as much as 15% savings delivered to our clients. Again, Strategic Supply Chain Partners. We do have an outstanding referral program. John, loved what you talked about today, by the way. I know some of the Outback guys. I worked with some of those guys when they were area directors in companies 40 years ago. I can also share some insight on why when you start talking training with restaurant people, they never want to do it.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay. Hey, the other half of the dynamic duo, you want to say something?
Not really. I'm driving through this rain, but yeah, I love John's speech, and I've been practicing that for years. So great job, John.
Thank you.
Okay. James, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. James Walker with Aeromark Refreshments. Predominantly, we provide coffee service, everything ranging from traditional brew to specialty drinks, espressos, cold and nitro options. We don't focus solely on restaurants. We can pretty much provide coffee service to any location, any type of business that offers coffee to either their customers or their employees. For large locations, 300 plus office type settings, we provide micro markets with self-checkout, kiosk with fresh foods, wraps, salad, sandwiches, snacks, all the accoutrements. Thanks.
Thank you. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. John, terrific speech, as I knew it would be. Very dramatic. Your writing is dramatic. I've read every article. I have all of them. I have your book. Anybody that needs to know anything about hospitality service, they really need to contact you. It doesn't matter, even if it's not in the hospital, it doesn't matter. Every business can use what you do, your service. So Service Quality Institute, wonderful, based out of Minnesota. John is a terrific speaker and has a worldwide following. That's all I can say. Go on his sites. You won't believe what's on there. So great to have you. Thank you for coming. I handle the leads reports, the new opening reports. Anybody wants a sample, a lot of people get them. Just send me an email and I'll send you a sample. They're not going to have the email addresses, but you can at least see the format of what you get every month. So those shoot out to restaurants. I'll tell you where they're opening, who the owner is, phone number, address, about when they're opening, where they're at in their phases of construction, if they're part of a larger group, if they have more coming in. And right now, there seems to be a lot of new places and chains coming into Florida, Georgia, and Texas, those 3 states. And they're 3 separate reports, by the way. So our team puts them together. I get them by the 1st and format them and get them out to you by the 9th. Have a good weekend and happy Mother's Day to anybody that it applies to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lori, good morning. You want to tell us all about your new product?
Yes, Lori Morris at ARF Financial. And the biggest thing that I want to announce to everyone is we have a new true revolving line of credit. So I'm working with a guy right now. He's approving for 400,000. He can take 5,000 up front and have this money available, revolving period, anywhere from 6 months to a year. But he could take 100, you could pay that, $95,000 back in a month. And the interest on that is like, it was 1.2%. Then he can, take another 50. I mean, it's complete flexibility, something we've never had before. So I'm just spreading the word on that. And ARF is, blasting it out to all our people. And so if you have any clients that, may have a need for something like that, please let me know.
We're going to do our interview next week.
Yes, I'm going to get you those 5 questions.
Okay.
Now is a good time. I'm glad we waited. Now it's a perfect time.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, thank you. Chris Pumo, good morning. Nice to see you back.
Good morning, everyone. Chris Pumo, Skyline Analytics. We provide data analytics and strategic finance support to businesses. About 60 to 70% of our clients reside in the restaurant and hospitality space, hence why I've joined this group. So if you have any contacts that are struggling with analytics, reporting, automated reporting, or just really need like an outsourced director of finance, that is kind of what we do. So Chris Pumo, Skyline Analytics, feel free to reach out.
Hey, thank you. I hope you two had a chance to talk, you and Laurie.
Yeah, I just sent here.
Good. I got to tell you, the beauty of this group, I think when I sent out the email last week about the aprons, asking if anybody had contacts for aprons, I'm telling you, I got probably 6 or 7 people who jumped on it. And it was really amazing. It's so much information and knowledge in these groups. So it's really good. I appreciate this. Yes.
Howard, the gal you told me to contact,
yes,
never called me back.
Not surprising. Now now the whole thing's on hold.
Okay.
It was. I told her. I said I feel like I'm in the army again. Hurry up and wait. All right, Bob Anteville. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, everybody. John, thank you for that interesting presentation. I'm with the National Auditing Services Consulting. We do forensic audits on businesses' utility bills. This past week, we've had several articles out from Barclays to the New York Times talking about the increases in energy costs. With the inflation being the highest in 40 years, will recoup energy overcharges that have been made to businesses and go back 36 months, get them their money back, whatever they've been overcharged. We'll go forward another 36 months and we'll monitor it. And it's really a no-brainer. So a customer, a good referral is pretty much anybody in the industry and business, hotels, resorts, restaurants. We can go back and recoup them some money. It's getting like a gift drop down from heaven. I have my information in the chat, and I thank you very much. And I had a nice conversation with John Bunn last week. I appreciate, this week rather. Appreciate his time. Thank you.
Okay. Jeff Krantz, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, been busy on paperwork. Jeff Krantz, Co-Card Payment Systems. We're part of a national group. We represent almost all the electronic transaction payment companies, First Data, Cheeses, NPC WorldPay, just about anybody that does anything. We do all types of electronic transactions, and we set up any type of equipment that you have to do that. Besides which, we set up businesses, especially restaurants, to do gift cards. We have an extensive group of gift card companies that we can work with, and we have a long history of working with all of them. Just about anything that you can do that or would like to do with an electronic transaction or with a actual transaction but done by hand, we have the ability to do it. I've been in the business since 1988, before there were credit card machines. That's quite a long time. I remember just having a booklet that was 2 days old. Even though you accepted a credit card, the credit card could have been a bad credit card at that point. We have somewhere around 40 national accounts out of our main office. And there isn't any place in the United States that we can't do business. That's basically it. I hate to say it, but my kids have much more knowledge of this business than I do. That's because I don't allow them to be sitting around doing nothing. That's it.
Good. All right, John Marinak, good morning.
John Marinak Food Service Consultants. We basically do food service consulting and design for restaurants and anything with food. We do bottling plants, packaging plants as well. Pretty busy all around the world right now. We're starting to pick up a good bit, and I hope everybody else is starting to see some stuff starting to pick up. Georgia's really starting to pick up, and you'll start to see a lot happening there as well.
Country of Georgia?
I'm sorry?
The country of Georgia?
I couldn't
You
understand.
said Georgia, the country of Georgia, Bessie?
No, I haven't done anything there.
Okay. I'm going to be there this month, so that's why I was asking.
Okay.
You said Georgia.
No, Georgia is a state.
Okay.
I was saying it more because Howard's up in that area as well with the newspaper. And
We're actually in Georgia, in Eastern Europe too. We have somewhat of a following in Eastern Europe.
So Howard, I'm doing a seminar on May 31 for tourism in Georgia. They're the ones flying me over and paying my speaking fee. It's government funded, government run. So there'll be 300 businesses attending my seminar.
That's great.
Wow.
Have you ever contacted the Florida Restaurant Association to see if you could speak at their meeting?
No, can you introduce me, Howard?
I can, and there's another show the week after, actually in Orlando again. Pizza Today, Pizza Today, but it's a new show. Anyway, I'll put you in touch.
Introduce me, thank you.
Sean, good morning.
Good morning, great to be here. Just briefly, we have a small device that goes inside the deep fryers in restaurants, and it will double the amount of food that can be fried per liter of oil. So effectively saving restaurant owners 50% on their cooking oil purchases. And right now, cooking oil it's doubled, and in some places it's actually tripled to what it was over a year ago. So restaurant owners are keen to save at least half on their cooking oil, and that's our Oil Chef device. So reach out to us. We've got a good referral program and look forward to your referrals. Thanks.
Okay, real quick, I don't know if you can see this, but on this page are 12 different companies that I invited to come to the meeting today. Two weren't able to make it today, but they will be coming. He's a headhunter, recruiter, and hopefully we have a security system that will be coming. And I also made contact with Comcast Video. He was very interested in coming. I'm surprised he's not here. That's what happens. People tell me what I want to hear and it disappears. but we'll keep working on them. Anyway, great meeting as usual. John, thank you very much. You
You're
still
welcome.
here? And
here.
Helen, nice to see you. And everybody have a great weekend. Oh, one other thing. If anybody wants to volunteer to do a presentation on the 13th or the 20th. Anybody? If you don't, I'm gonna have to do mine.
No, somebody step up.
You know, it's funny, we've been doing these meetings for 2 years and pretty much everybody's had a chance and I've never done it. So I've got a presentation that I'm gonna try to do next week.
I'll do the
Alright.
20th.
You'll take the 20th?
Who's that?
Terrific.
James, I'll do the 20th.
James Walker will do the 20th.
Oh, okay. If you wanna do the 13th, you can.
I'll do the 13th, and I hear it's lucky.
All right, James. Okay, thank you. We're not going to have a meeting on the 27th because that's the beginning of the Memorial Day weekend, and I think everybody needs a day off. So have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday, and James will fill us all in on his coffee service.
Thank you all.